Good morning. I just wanted to take a couple of minutes out of your time this morning to talk a little bit about hair colour alternatives. We've started to get some questions and inquiries about alternatives that you can use at home to use on your hair colour whilst the salon is shut and you can't get access to the professional stylists who normally look after your hair. When those questions have come through and I've gone back to the stylist, if it's a very simple solution, we can offer potential alternatives. But for the vast majority of you, the solution, unfortunately, isn't as simple as going out and buying a box colour. And I thought, rather than trying to explain that in an email, I thought the best way to do it is to take you behind the scenes and explain how our colours work and why that is a challenge. So, as you can see, I'm in our dispensary this morning. There are lots and lots and lots of colours behind me. In fact, over 200 colours, probably 15 different peroxides. We have pre-lighteners, we have all sorts of chemicals and colours in here. And we use this as this is our palette, if you like, of colour choices to use on our clients. And so when our stylists create their bespoke colours for you individually, it's usually made up of a selection of different colours intermixed for different reasons to get different results. We might use alternative peroxides for different results, one to lift, one to deposit. We might decide to use a semi-permanent over a permanent for different reasons. We might use foil to separate the colour out and give you a different result, so you have a much more multi-tonal, much more natural effect. And so this is kind of a very kind of professional, very quite complex subject when it comes to sort of saying, right, in the absence of having this choice, then the alternative for you would be to use that colour with that peroxide, and you're going to get a temporary solution, and that will keep you going and you won't see roots. The reality is that this is a lottery. You put a colour on that we don't know whether it would suit your skin, might need to test it or not, but secondly, the chances of that colour working for you are very, very low. So that's been our challenge, and what we didn't want to come across as is don't use box colour, don't use anything else, just wait for us, because we understand the challenge of sitting there and not feeling good, not feeling as glamorous as you normally would. But we're just asking to be patient for 3 weeks. Fingers crossed. I know no one knows, but we're hoping that we're going to be back open in 3 weeks' time. And what we don't want to have to do then is that we start to have to repair colour and strip colour out and deal with problems, rather than just going back to bringing your hair back to its natural glory, and to put your, to cover their root areas up, put some nice blondes and summer tones for the hair. There isn't really an alternative at the moment. If you've got a darker colour that's more natural, then potentially yes, we could offer a solution. But if you're not in that boat and you're looking for a different alternative, it might be to round foiling or lighter or fashion shades, then really there isn't an alternative out there that we would recommend or be comfortable recommending. In the meantime, for the 3 weeks, there are alternatives you can use that we would recommend. One would be the root sprays or the root powders. Zigzag partings can have can mask it slightly. But our real recommendation is, if it's only 2 to 3 weeks and we're all locked in, no one can go outside, there's no parties, there's no barbecues, then let's just give our hair a rest. Let's nourish it. Let's avoid heat, avoid all the things we normally put our hair through, and let's give it a little bit of a break. So when we eventually get back to normal and get back into the salon again, that the hair is perfect, gives us a perfect fabric to work on, and it means we can get going again. Let's not panic in the short term. If it starts going to 3 weeks and beyond, then we'll come back to you with potential solutions then. But I think we can all muddle through the next 3 weeks, and if we can't answer the questions, or we come back and without an alternative, if you ask a question, it's not because we're trying to be difficult. We really, really want to help you through this period. We're trying to do our best for ourselves and for you, and we're all trying to, as I said, muddle through at this moment in time. So, guys, we really appreciate your support. We really appreciate your custom, and hopefully we'll get through this as quick as possible. I hope this helps and explains things in a little bit more detail.